Hello. If you have a WordPress website, then you know by now that it's versatile, you can do anything with it, it's very robust, but at the same time it's not the fastest and it's very prone to hacking. Well, relax, because there is a solution. Today I'm going to talk to you about a premium WordPress hosting provider that will solve all your problems. My name is Olaf, I'm your tool finder, and today we're going to look at Kinsta. So why did I need Kinsta in the first place? Well, as you know by now, I have built a sneaker comparison website, or at least my developers did, and WordPress is not the fastest by default, especially not when you want to use a couple of plugins and, well, be realistic, you always will need some. To get it faster, I was having lots of troubles using different caching plugins because I was having 15,000 sneakers on this website with lots of filters, obviously, brands, colors, models, etc. And I needed this site to be fast anyway. I wasn't using WooCommerce, I just had some purpose-built template for this. And the first load of every page would take like 25 seconds. And obviously that is not good enough. But those 25 seconds became 4 seconds or less when you loaded it the second time, at least when the caching plugins were working. But it was a big, great pain in the ass to get this to work, and I've tried all the caching plugins, but at the same time I thought, okay, this is never going to work as expected. And apart from that, these caching plugins will store a lot of data on your website, and it gets bloated, and before you know it, your whole website will explode. And then I read about this server-side full page caching, and I thought, okay, let's give this a try, because I have tried over 9 to 10 different WordPress hosts in my days. And I thought, okay, I read about this server-side full page caching WordPress managed hosting company called Kinsta. I never heard of them before. And I thought, okay, let's give this a try. They had something called free migration. So let's try. And to my surprise, actually, the migration went fluently and very easy and without any hassle. And my website then became blazingly fast. It went from like 4 seconds on average to 1.5, maybe 2 at the most. And for some pages, even less than 1 second, which is great for a big e-commerce website. Another reason was that the sneaker websites are live in 4 countries, in the US, in the UK, in Germany, and in the Netherlands. So I wanted local data centers to be able to serve them the best possible and the fastest possible as well. Because although you might have Cloudflare or other CDNs to speed it up locally, it still makes a big difference to have the whole server locally as well. And since these guys at Kinsta use the Google Cloud servers, this is not a problem at all. Another thing is that I didn't want to spend all this time on making backups, making test websites, checking security, adding all kinds of different plugins to make this happen. As mentioned, the caching plugins that were a pain. And I thought that this should be easier. Every hour I spend on this is a waste of my time. I want to be active with my business. I want to do the marketing. I want to do relationships. I want to have different vendors on my website. And instead of that, I was constantly busy with getting this to be stable, to be fast, etc. So that was another reason for me that I kept on looking for something faster. Well, especially in the beginning of the website, you have to test a lot, so you don't want to test on a live environment. And I wanted to have easy access to a testing or staging environment. And the way I did it in the beginning was to use a WAMP and XAMPP, which makes a local version on your machine. And this takes, well, knowledge, it takes time, it's fiddly, and even when you have figured it out how to do this locally, then if you want to push it to the live version, you will easily need another hour to get this done as well. So this took me a lot of time altogether, and I still didn't have the speed and the security and the robustness I wanted. Until I found Kinsta, obviously. And if you want to ask what is managed WordPress hosting actually, because I can imagine that you don't know what it is, or you have heard of it before, but you don't know exactly what it is. Well, it means that the managed part means that the guys at, in this case, Kinsta, will do all kinds of stuff for you, so you don't have to. For example, the backups are taken care of, the monitoring is taken care of, the uptime is taken care of, everything is taken care of, which saves you a lot of money. And that's why I call it a hassle-free, purpose-built WordPress hosting available. And it's the best on the market, in my humble opinion. One of the reasons being that it has been built by WordPress freaks, and those guys, they live, eat, drink, breathe, sleep WordPress. And one of the big advantages of this is that whatever question you have, they can answer it. So their support team is also stellar, because it doesn't matter what happens, they can figure it out. And my experience with other support teams is that when you ask them a question and they cannot answer it immediately from the first 3 options that they have, then they are lost and they just say to you, okay, well, you have to figure it out yourself. So if you have something purposely built or something special, you need different plugins, and you don't get there with your normal host, give Kinsta a chance, because it's such a relief to talk to people that are actually knowledgeable and do know what they're talking about. And since I have thousands of clients, from the nitty-gritty to the biggest in the world, they came across your problem most of the times as well. So then it can be fixed by them as well. And that is also a big difference. They can fix it for you, and if you let them, they actually will do this. So you don't have to go home with you should do this, this, and this, and this. And if you're not technical, then you're still not out of the woods, obviously. So they take care of all the tedious and time-consuming stuff and handle the whole website for you, which is a great relief, and it saves you lots of time and money. So talking about the features, if you sum it up, it would be speed, security, and one-click testing in my case. Those were the 3 biggest things I wanted from a new host. What I didn't know in the beginning is that they use the Google Cloud environment for this. So that's the reason why they're so incredibly fast and secure. So the speed, the security, and the robustness come all from the Google Cloud environment, which is the same stuff Google uses themselves. And as said, you can choose your data center, which is a big advantage if you have different websites all over the world. They created their unique site management dashboard. So if you, for example, are used to cPanel, you can throw that out of the window, because this is 100,000 times easier and better. They offer free migrations, free from the big competitors they have, but also free if you have some more advanced packages, then they will do this for you, no matter how complex your site might be. They have this uptime monitoring, so whatever happens, they stay on top of it, and you are always backed up. I will show this to you in a second. As mentioned, they have a brilliant support team that can actually fix anything, and the response times are also incredible. So a big hat off for this. And last but not least, there are 2 other features that are very interesting. One is the one-click clone. This can be very important and handy, for example, if you have sites in multiple countries, but they are actually pretty much the same except for the translation. So you just hit the one-click clone and you start from there. You enter the translations and you're done. Or if you have multiple blogs, this could also be very handy, because if you have a system and a template and everything working, you can just clone this whole website with one click. And last but not least, the test environment, the one-click staging. This is actually one of the biggest reasons why I needed managed WordPress hosting in the first place. So instead of messing around with all kinds of local tools or plugins that don't work, or what you have to pay for even more than Kinsta costs, believe me, you will spend hours upon hours upon hours to get this done right. With Kinsta, it's one click and you have your staging environment done. You do whatever you need to do on your test website, and whenever you're ready, you push it back to life with one button again. Bob's your uncle, as simple as that. And once I figured this out, I never looked back. So to sum it up, what are the benefits of Kinsta Managed WordPress Hosting? Well, as said, speed, 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 and a lot more. So let's see. It's blazingly fast, it's good for user experience, it's good for your SEO, and it's good for conversions, as you might know. So this is one of the biggest advantages. And if you combine this with their own CDN or with Cloudflare, it gets even faster. And yes, there are more fast managed WordPress hosts in the world, but not then with the whole package, not as stable, not as secure, not as fast, not as knowledgeable. So in my case, or in my experience at least, Kinsta is by far the best. They have this uptime guaranteed. It's nearly hands-off, so you can concentrate on your business instead of your website. And I mean the marketing maybe of your website or making money online. So might still be concentrating on your website, but not on the technical details. They have a very simple setup, and as said, they offer you free migrations. They are optimized for e-commerce websites such as WooCommerce and the like. And when in need, support will really save your day and fix the problem. To sum it up, it saves you tons of time. For example, no messing around with backups yourself, no messing with caching plugins, no messing with monitoring, no messing with the test environment. And when you see it like this, it is actually very cheap if you compare this to all the manual labor you might be doing today. So what are other people saying about it? Well, as you can see, it ranges from 4.7 to 4.9 across hundreds of reviews and testimonials. And I must say, I am very delighted with them as well, and I recommend them to anybody. And that's why I'm also recommending them to you at this moment. Some other proof, you can see loads of these images where people show their load times, and before Kinsta it was maybe 4 seconds, and afterwards it's, well, on average below 1 second. So that's a big difference by just changing your host. The uptime guarantee, this one is running from December 2018, still 100%. This guy is saying, I went from a dedicated server to Kinsta and the speed increase was just incredible. I didn't realize how quick WordPress could be. And this was exactly my experience as well. I just didn't know with my site that was big and complex and a lot of stuff on it that it could actually still be this incredibly fast. And Jason is saying, I've been building websites for close to 20 years now. I've used my fair share of hosts, around 60. Kinsta is without a doubt the best host I have ever used. And this is saying something as coming from somebody who is a website engineer and has tried over 60 hosts. Brent is saying, our agency has worked with all the major hosting platforms. Kinsta is crazy fast and the support is stellar. We moved all our clients to Kinsta and haven't looked back. It's the same for me. I haven't looked back. I'm still with them. I have a lot of customers, including myself, on them, and I can recommend them to you wholeheartedly. Melinda is saying, Kinsta is the very best. It's by far and away the best hosting I've ever used, managed or otherwise. Extremely knowledgeable, always nice, head and shoulders above the rest. I couldn't be happier. Truly 5 stars is not enough. And this is the guy from Reveal Signals that do some benchmark testing. And they say Kinsta kept sub 1 second response time for 30 minutes, needed 250,000 of requests. Most companies had a spike or two causing a higher peak response time, but Kinsta and Pantheon didn't. Simply amazing performance. The lowest peak response time, 0 errors. Yet another top tier performance from Kinsta. Perfect uptime and near perfect load tests. It's starting to feel redundant writing that, because they do this every year again and again. So it's a very stable and fast host. Earlier I told you can save a lot of money by using Kinsta, and this is my calculator that shows how much. I want to take you with me to this test, and let's just fill it out and see what happens. And of course you can do this yourself later on, but for now let's do this together. So this is the calculator. So let's assume a couple of things. You do 2 test sites a month. Every time you have to make an environment, a test environment, it will take you like 1 hour. You make 4 backups per month, and every backup will cost you like half an hour to monitor it, or to do something in the plugin, or to download it somewhere, or to put it somewhere, or at least some manual labor. And every month you spend like 4 hours on speed on your website, for example, caching plugins or optimizing your Google speed, checking pingdom, optimizing images and stuff like that. So if you would do that, then this would be the outcome. Then every month you would save $450. Or to put it in another way, you could make $450 more if you spend that time on clients when your client fee would be $60. let's take another look. Let's see what happens if you do only one test site per month, and maybe it takes you only half an hour because you're very experienced and fast. You have 2 backups per month and you spend maybe 12 minutes on it, and on speed maybe only 2 hours every month. Everything is very on the low side, and you calculate with your internal rate of $30. Still, you would save $57 every month. We deducted already $30 per month for using Kinsta, so it's 87 minus this 30 would end up at 57. But if you would do like one test site a week and you have the default 1 hour, you make maybe 8 backups per month. No, that's a bit exaggerated. Let's say 4 every week, 1, and it will cost you half an hour per backup, and you spend 1 day per whole month on speed, and you would charge your customers, let's say, $100. So now we're at the other end of the spectrum. Then it would save you like $1,370 every month, because all this manual stuff you don't have to do anymore. And even if this just internal rate of 30, it still would save you $390. So that's a huge chunk out of your income, I would say. So for me, I didn't realize how much this was actually until I made this calculator. And I was shocked by how much money I wasted in the beginning by doing this all myself. Having these cache backups, or downloading them, or store them somewhere via cPanel, somewhere on my FileZilla. You know, if you use WordPress, you know what I mean. So I can totally recommend using Kinsta for this, because it will save you so much time. But let's go back to the PowerPoint, and I will show you in a second how much time it will save you by showing you what the Kinsta dashboard is all about, and then we can take a look at what you can do. So I said we are going to have a bit of this pudding to see what it tastes like. And what I'm going to show you are a couple of things. We are going to set up a new website. We will be cloning an existing website, or at least I will show you how you can do this with one click. I will show you the options with regards to backup. So normally you would have a daily backup, but you can also go for a 6-hour backup or an hourly backup. So whenever you have a very rapidly changing website, or an e-commerce website, or a user-generated membership website, then maybe a daily backup wouldn't be enough. And for a little extra, they can do this every 6 hours or even every hour, which if this is your livelihood, that would be a great investment. They also have an automatic backup made every day, and I will show you this in the dashboard soon. You can make a manual backup anytime you want. They have system generated backups, which means that if you, for example, push a staging website to live, that would be the moment that they make a backup of your existing live website in case something goes wrong. So those will all be system generated. You can offload your backups automatically on, for example, Amazon S3 or Google Cloud. And if you want, you can download it as well to your local machine. After that, I will show you the tools they offer you for free in their dashboard, which are great. And if you need them, sometimes you know why they are great. I will show you. You can create a test website, which I'm going to demonstrate. So the one-click staging site as well. And last but not least, I will give you an idea of the support they are offering. So here we are at the dashboard of Kinsta. And as you can see, you get some kind of an overview of the different sites you have, and some notifications, the transfer, the unique visits, and some other stuff. And we have the resource center if you want to learn about WordPress or read their blogs or want to know something from their knowledge base, then you could go here. At the top, you can see I have like 3 different accounts. 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏 is my own personal account, but I also have some other websites for different people. And under 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏, there are 10 different websites, and these are all just one website. So if you would go to these sites, then you would see what I mean. Now I have like 9 out of 10 websites in use. and you can go directly to the live site or the staging website if you want. These are all different websites that I'm using, and you can directly see what PHP they're on, how many visitors you have, and how much disk space they are occupying. So if you want to add a site, you can choose from 3 different options. You install WordPress, which would be default. You can choose not to install WordPress, so you just have an empty environment, or you can clone an existing environment. So normally you would install WordPress and you choose your domain name, the name of the site, the location, and here you can choose all the different ones that are available all over the world. So 24 different locations at this time, and if you're in the USA, for example, you can choose from different ones in the mid, in the east, in the west, etc. As you can see here, US West, US Central, US East, so you can choose your own data center. And you can add your site title, admin username, your password, and the language. You can choose for a WordPress multi-site, WooCommerce, and Yoast, and then you can just click Add Site and you're done. But if you want to clone an existing environment, you just click this and you can just say, all right, this is one of my 9 websites that I'm using, and I want just to clone, for example, this website from staging because that's the site that I want. And then you can just see that you have this one in the same location that you cloned it from. But as you can see, default, it would be in the same location. But if you want, you can transfer this to another data center. I've done this myself in the past a couple of times. So this is how you install a new site with Kinsta. You install WordPress here, or you just clone an existing environment. And cloning can be very handy if you have a website that you're happy with. Maybe you just want to change some colors or some content. Or if you want to change the site only in a different language, then this might be a time saver of unknown proportions. So if you were to go to a website itself, you would end up in this so-called dashboard where you can have all your details. In this case, I'm looking at Rijnweb and my live environment, and I can go to my changing environment via this menu with one click. In this website I have a couple of options. So this is the overview of where is it located, what's my IP address, etc. My SFTP access and things like that. My database, you can transfer a site to somebody else or you can delete it. And other options are in domains, backups, tools, redirects, WordPress plugins, IP deny, Kinsta CDN, and logs, and I will go over them shortly. I will not give you a complete tutorial of all the options, all the possibilities. This will just be a demonstration of the power and the options of Kinsta Managed WordPress Hosting. So now we are in the domains, and you can from here open the URL or open WordPress admin with one click, and you can see the domain list, what this website is attached to. And you can make one of those primary as well. If we would go to backups, then you would see we have a couple of options. You have your daily backups that are included in this plan. You can choose hourly backups. So those are $100 a month and 6-hour backups, which would set you back $50 every month. But if you run a big site that changes a lot, this might be worth the investment. If you want, you can make a backup now, so I'll show you the speed. For example, backup test. And as you can see, this will take maybe only a couple of seconds. Bang, backup is created. And another one would be the system generated ones. I told you why they made some backups earlier. For example, if you go from a staging website to live, etc. So here you can learn more about this. But in some cases, it will just generate a backup for safety purposes. With external, you can choose to offload them to Amazon or to Google Cloud. And with the download option, you can create a backup now and download it to your system. Within the dashboard, you also have options and a lot of tools. And in this case, you can clear your cache from here, for example. You can restart your PHP engine. You can do some debugging. you can have a search and replace from within the dashboard, which might be very handy, for example, if you have problems with the security and the log. If you have mixed content, you cannot get the log to work in Chrome, for example, then there might be some HTTP content instead of HTTPS. And in that case, you can use this search and replace to change everything in a database that is not correct. And also, if you might want to change old terms to new terms, maybe an old brand name to a new brand name, you don't have to go through your whole website manually, but you can do this via this search and replace. There is a very advanced New Relic monitoring available. If something is going wrong or you do want to know where things are coming from, you can start monitoring this and you can just pinpoint the problems. You can have another layer of password protection. The access to this Kinsta dashboard, by the way, is two-factor authorized as well, so it's very difficult to get in here as well. But this is for your website protection if you want to log in. You can have a free SSL certificate added to your website. They can force HTTPS, so whatever happens, people will see your secure website. And here you can change your PHP engine from the latest versions they support. And 𝗙𝗏𝗏𝗃, I don't know what it is and I don't use it, so I'm not going to explain what that does. But if you use it, it says here you can have Kinsta work together with 𝗙𝗏𝗏𝗃. One of the most important things that you can do with Kinsta, and that actually was for me one of the 3 top reasons to go with them, is the option to have a test environment with one click. And that is what I want to show to you right now. So for example, and here we are in the staging environment. So you can switch from staging to live with the drop down. I'm now in the staging environment. And as you can see, if I want, I can push the staging to live with this button. But I don't want to do this right now. I just want to show you something else. So here you can delete your staging environment and you just have to type in something to make this work. And you have to check this box to make sure that you know that your file and database will be deleted for this staging environment. So I will delete it. This will take a couple of minutes. And now you can see the staging environment has been deleted and I want to create a new staging environment. I'm going to do this and then I'm going to pause it for a second because this will take a couple of minutes. So here we are in the staging environment. It took like 10 minutes or something, just enough to get you a cup of coffee. And then when you come back, your website is ready. And the only difference between this one and the normal one would be that the port is different. But from here, you can go directly to your domain. So here I am in my staging environment. And as you can see immediately, we get this huge SEO issue because this is not a live website, so it's not going to be crawled by Google. And another thing is you can see here the Kinsta Cache button that says that I'm actually in a Kinsta environment. But for everything else, I can just start doing stuff to this website, changing things. And whenever I'm ready, I can go back to this Kinsta dashboard and I can push this staging website to live. And that's how easy this is. So for me, this was one of the biggest reasons to go to Kinsta. What's also a time saver is that you can do redirects directly from the dashboard. For example, if you have an old page that should redirect to a new one, you should change it in here. As you can see, for example, I changed year from 2019 and 2020, like here. And next year I should change this probably to 2021 for SEO purposes, obviously. From within the dashboard of Kinsta, you can directly go to all your plugins as well and see if they are updating or not, or having an update. And you can deny some IP addresses or strings. You can also have Kinsta CDN enabled. We use Cloudflare for all of our websites, but in case you want, you can use Kinsta CDN as well, which is included in the plan. And there are logs available, error logs, for example, also some other logs, access logs, for example, just from within your dashboard. So you don't have to do difficult stuff with FileZilla and go to that and open this in your notepad and things from the past like that. Okay, if we go back to the left, we have some other options. As I said, I migrated 2 sites earlier from other hosts to Kinsta. In my plan, I still have 2 premium migrations available, and I have also 2 basic migrations. So if I click on it, you can see what this means. You can request a basic migration for free. You're eligible if your current host is A2 Hosting, Bluehost, Cloudways, DreamHost, Flywheel, GoDaddy, HostGator, 𝗙𝗏𝗄𝗏, Pantheon, Savvii, SiteGround, tsoHost, WP Engine, and WPX Hosting. So if you have one of those, you are in luck because you can migrate for free to Kinsta. And I would recommend you do this because you can also do this for free. And since they have this 30-day money-back guarantee, you can also try this for 30 days if it's faster than your current host and you don't run any risk. So that might be an idea if you're not totally satisfied with your current host. Just migrate for free to Kinsta, see what they can do. As said, if you have more complex websites going on or you're not on one of those earlier mentioned hosts, then you can submit a migration request to their technicians. They will take care of everything. And I, like 𝗙𝗔𝗂𝗂𝗧𝗏, a very complicated website, as I explained before, but they just migrated this, and you enter your migration request, and the same day in the afternoon it will be ready. Great service. Well, Kinsta DNS, I don't have this. I use this for one site only, but I use Cloudflare for the rest. And we have an extensive analytics where you can see the past 24 hours, all sites combined, specific sites. You can do this for the past 7 days if you want. And you can just see what happens with the statistics and the visits. So you don't even need analytics for the most part. You can see the top requests. And here at the left, we have all kinds of other analytics available. For example, caching, response times, everything. Our company will just give you an overview of your account. So in my case, I have 10 websites in this plan, and you can add some disk space if you want. Here are my invoices, payment methods, billing details, etc. I can have different users, and now it's only me, myself, and I, but if I want, I can add some users. And here in the activity log, you can see the bigger things that have happened. For example, a backup of my site created just now, a couple of minutes ago. I've deleted an old website to show you how to add a new website, also today. And there are some other things you can see. And last but not least, we have the knowledge base about moving your site to Kinsta, site setup, tools and features, and all kinds of stuff that hopefully I explained to you just now. And what is also very important is we have the support area, and they reply blazingly fast, just as the website. So if you send them a message, then they will reply and they will help you. And this is really incredibly important, especially because WordPress can be a challenge sometimes with all the options and all the possibilities and all the interacting plugins. And whenever something goes wrong, you can contact them and they will reply to you in no time. As a matter of fact, we could do a quick try. I will show you real life how this goes. So I will send them a message. I say I need technical support. All right, I see that they are 24/7 here to assist me. I need something about caching. Hi, I have a problem with my site. And you can already see that he is here now. And I can say, hi Mike, sorry, I was just testing the speed of your support. Very impressed. And I will give him a thumbs up for this disturbance. So you can see he has seen it now, and let's see what his reply will be. Just waiting now. Okay. No problem getting it. They even have some humor. All right, thank you. Bye-bye. And as you can see, you will always get also a notification in your email about this last conversation. So you have always something to reference and go back to. So in a nutshell, I very much like the Kinsta Managed WordPress Hosting. I can recommend it to you wholeheartedly. I think you should try this if you want a faster, more stable website, and if you want an easier to manage website as well. And if you want, you can go up to hundreds of sites and whole enterprise packages. But for me, I think the best idea would be to just pick one of your websites that you want to make faster, more stable, and want to test out. You do the free migration with them using the link that I will give you. And then you try it out for 30 days. And if you don't like it, you get your money back guaranteed. All right. So I hope you liked this and enjoyed it. And I'll see you in the next video.